Man level.
Salam.
It's nice to see you.
nice to see you
Thank
too.
you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Enegeta.
Dana,
Dana, please. Oh, it's nice to see you.
It's nice to see
today.
you too.
እንኳን ደህና መጣህ.
How are you?
I'm so happy that you are here.
Thank you.
Do you want a cup of tea or coffee or some juice?
It's okay, juice is fine.
All right, okay. Please have a seat.
Okay, thank you.
I'm so glad you are here.
Thank you.
Cheers to Rotary International.
To Rotary International. It's good to see you. Thank you for having me in your lovely home. How are you feeling at this moment?
I feel accomplished, I suppose.
Yeah.
I feel very calm, and that this journey has been very productive, very connecting, and very satisfying.
I mean, you have inspired so many people. It's been an amazing year, and I think a lot of people look up to you. I just want to take you back to the very beginning. How did you connect with Rotary? How did you decide to become a full-time volunteer?
I'm naturally a people-centered person. In my 28 years UN career at the World Food Programme has given me a chance to connect with people. I was always with the underserved and the less fortunate. I've been to camps, I've been to drought-affected areas, to refugee camps, internally displaced people. All this, I think, has contributed so much for my being a humanitarian, connected with people.
You've served for a long time in Rotary. I think how many years now?
It's 10 years now.
10 years.
Just past March, it was 10 years.
And you've taken so many leadership positions. I remember when you were president, that's the year when I became a Rotarian. I've been a Rotary actor for many years, and I remember the type of leadership you had in that club and how vibrant the Rotary Club of Addis Ababa was. And then you kept on climbing. You served as country chair, and then you assumed the highest office in the district. How was that process for you? How did you react to that appointment when you were announced as district governor?
First, coming from a humanitarian field in the UN, it was a natural transition to become a full-fledged volunteer. When I came back to my country, Ethiopia, after 20 years of service outside of my country, it was with looking at the opportunity to serve my people in Ethiopia. Therefore, when I came, I decided to look for an institution which can take my services, just voluntary services. Therefore, it was so handy that my friends and my family connected me with Rotary, and that's how I entered in 2013. Here I am as a district governor for this big district, very interesting district.
How was that appointment process? I remember you had some issues during the interview process.
It was so funny. First of all, there was a lot of push and recommendation from senior Rotarians, both in my country and at the district level. And my intention was really when I was coming from a leadership in the UN, it was just to be a volunteer, just behind the scene, guiding, supporting, and providing policy and procedural advice wherever I am needed. However, when this push came and that for Ethiopia, I'm the first female district governor, and for our district 9212 as well. So when that happened, I felt I should do justice to my country. My country has resources, human resources. Therefore, I accepted the challenge and I applied. But the day of the interview was very interesting. In fact, I have never used at that stage Google Meet, a virtual system.
Yeah.
Therefore, I could not be able to connect into, I thought it was Zoom. I was struggling with the Zoom. Finally, they told me it was Google Meet. Therefore, in order to download that and get ready for the interview, they were very patient and they waited for me, and I did the interview. And after the interview, when I got the call that I was nominated as a district governor, I had mixed feelings. Is it right to be a district governor? Do I want to be? And so on and so forth. But the next day, the planning and the process began.
How did your family react to it? I mean, it's a big news.
Yeah,
your husband Getish was very.
My poor husband, Getish.
Yeah.
He was in the next room when I was interviewing, and he came immediately after I finished, and he said, "You did very well. You did very well." So I said, "No, there are other candidates as well, very strong. Probably, if it is my time, I get it. If not, then I accept it." So it's not even half an hour when I got the call to be informed that I have been nominated as a governor. So Getish was happy, and he said that, "Don't worry, we will support you." As usual, he has been a big support and a very strong support for me. And then I called my children and I told them the news, and they said, "Oh, Mommy, if you need our support, we are there for you." So it was really positively, accepted.
I think that kind of support system is very important, and
very
I think
important.
You have amazing family that really support you throughout this journey. Now let's come to the time where you reigned as governor for District 9212, and you were leading 4 countries: Ethiopia, Eritrea, Kenya, and South Sudan. Over 138 clubs, 7,000 members of Rotarians and Rotaractors. It's a huge district. And tell us about your experience in leading all these volunteers. What are the qualities that you've seen? What are the challenges that you've seen?
Yeah, I think one of the most important aspects in all this is how this opportunity got me to be connected with Rotarians, Rotaractors, and Interactors in the field, and giving me a chance to see what type of activities are running which impact the communities that need our help, the less fortunate, as well as the underserved. So that really gave me the opportunity of seeing what actually happens on the ground. This year has been very, very productive from the point of introducing innovative ideas into the district. For the first time in the history of the district, we conducted 2 art exhibitions. The 2 Rotary, Imagine Rotary art exhibitions conducted in Kenya and Ethiopia really brought a lot of attention, a lot of collaboration and partnership with our artists who are prominent, as well as the young artists who came from some areas which they were not even thought they were existing. Yeah. So it was really an interesting one. It was a very successful one, and the cause for the art exhibition was to ensure the fundraising to go into the eradication of polio. As you know, polio for us is a flagship for Rotary International project. And we have been very, very active in working, ensuring the continuous immunization of children under 5. And the second most important was, for the first time again in the district, we conducted an International Women's Day celebration where 7 invisible women who were doing extraordinary work in the field were recognized. And the third important aspect was when we brought in Kenya about 6,000 children with special needs under a flagship intervention of Sunshine Rally. That touched my heart. That must be replicated in Ethiopia and South Sudan in the years to come. It's a one way of bringing them for entertainment, games, and to come out of their, structure where they are always confined. So bringing them out in the open to be working and, playing with them was a pleasure. The other probably thing that I want to mention is we did 6 foundation dinners to fundraise for the foundation. As you know, the foundation, our foundation is our cornerstone. Without the foundation, we don't exist. We are volunteers. Volunteers don't have money, but our foundation, through different modalities, we raise funds and to keep it intact. All these funds are going into service projects and other very important initiatives.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's been an engaging year, obviously, and you have introduced all these initiatives. And part of the thing that really amazes me about you is your commitment and the strength for you to continue each day, especially during the club visits. You visited 138 clubs in 3 countries, and it must not have been easy, obviously. You've been away from your family for almost 5 months during this time, and part of the reason I think us as volunteers sometimes when we're given responsibilities is the fear of us of Rotary's responsibilities overwhelming the rest of our other aspects of our lives. So tell me how did you find the balance between your personal life and this important work you do in Rotary?
First and foremost, this boils down to good planning and strategizing, because when you have such a big responsibility covering 4 countries, it's not something that you can do it without planning. So the planning was, first of all, to have a support system for the family, because I have a responsibility in the family. So that support system must be intact in order for me to move around freely without any, without feeling, restricted. Therefore, I had a very good support system from my family, as well as from my friends when I'm away. So that really incredible experience of being away from home, but doing something which supports the communities, were more or less balancing each other. So my household, for instance, I must mention that my domestic staff, Araga and Taje, did very well in keeping everything in place without me being present, Therefore, that is a very good thing. My sister, Rotarian Saba, and Rotarian Asfau, and other siblings, they were also there for me to support me. And my friends. I must mention my friend Kadra, who was always connecting with my family to ensure that everything was okay. So that helped.
Let me take you to some of the innovative ideas. I think you're going to be remembered for the type of governor that introduced very innovative thinking, new policies that have been directed at programs and projects. Tell me something about that.
After going around, the district and visiting projects, especially which span around $11 million within the district, I had this feeling that are we really doing the right thing? Are we really dispersed in many different areas, or are we helping impact communities and people that need our help? If we bring the packaged, focus areas into few places, let's say, the impact will be bigger. Therefore, I felt that it's very important that I come up with a policy document to write for the project, for the district, so that we can have a certain directive in order to bring all this dispersed project into some sort of reasonable target. Secondly, I thought of ensuring we involve communities and Rotary community corps to be established right at the beginning of the needs assessment level. So that we can take them through the project implementation, the project writing, project implementation, project review and reporting, but all of them to be involved right from the start, and then we can probably leave them and they can continue because they become owners of the projects. Therefore, the twinning and joint programming of clubs, twinning resources and joining clubs to have a bigger, impactful projects have been the center of our discussion as well with the incoming governors.
Yeah.
Therefore, that project I prepared is now approved. It was endorsed by the EXCOM, and it was later, approved by the District Assembly.
Yeah.
On the 20th of April.
Yes,
so
I remember.
I'm happy that that document is intact, and I am happy that I was able to give my experience to Rotary.
I think, you should be very proud of it. I think congratulations are in order for that, and I think District Governor-elect Leonard's team are going to take that forward for sure. Do you think we've told the Rotary story enough during your year?
Oh my goodness. This year has been exemplary. Very inspiring stories have been out to the public. The introduction of the DG's Times newsletter is one aspect of it. That particular magazine, digital magazine, it has been very, very useful in terms of telling our Rotary stories. That newsletter was compacted with a lot of club project stories, as well as, interviews of past district governors who were always at the back seat and who were not recognized after they finished their assignments. Talking to them was really very educational, very inspiring, and very spot on in terms of knowing exactly what the district needs as well. So it's very important, this kind of working with past Rotarians as well as with future Rotarians is very important, because the knowledge that you get and the knowledge that you pass on to the next level will always be a strength for us. So for me, apart from the newsletter, we have been in social media, we have been in print newsletters, we've been in TV and radio interviews. I have been, in addition, on spot at the district level when I was visiting projects, being interviewed,
documented,
being interviewed by media people. So all that is a document for us. By the way, the 10 issues of the DG's Times newsletter and all this additional information that are coming out of the PI and PR team, this will be a document to be used for the future. If you ask me about what kind of projects that you run in the district, it's very handy for me. I can just refer back to the newsletters. But we were also using the the other newsletter which we were using in the past. We did not leave because some of the club stories were going to the other newsletter, I think, which were
timeline. The timeline.
To the timeline.
Yeah, which is on the district website.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is there, and we use it, and this was an additional introduction to that. And we have to be there. We have to tell our Rotary stories. We have been telling our Rotary stories because we want to be accountable to our donors as well. We want to be accountable to our communities, to the people around us. Who are we as Rotarians or Rotaractors doing work at the field level? We are all volunteers. Do you know that in 1 year there were 47 million volunteer hours which came out of Rotarians? This is a big thing. We also produced, by the way, a video clip on the projects that I have visited on the Impact Tour. And that was very interesting for your information. All these are documentation.
Yeah.
We document, and they are all e-documentation. It's not like on paper and it will be lost and whatever. But it's all there on YouTube, on whatever resources, on social media and so on. So they are all there. So it's a big documentation that we are leaving behind. Thanks.
So you've been quite vocal. I think one of the things we'll remember you by is that you've been really adamant about involving the young generation in Rotary activities. And how do you see the young generation leading communities in the space of Rotary?
First of all, I would say that we senior Rotarians are responsible to open up, responsible to give access to the young generation. Unless we give them the platform, we won't be able to bring the young into the leadership. It's high time now. We really work on mentoring the young and coaching them and getting them ready to take over from us. It's high time that we do it systematically. It's not like on an informal basis. In fact, I have had a discussion with the district Rotaract representative, Lydia, about having a policy document on mentorship for the district. It's very important to have that. We have to start working on our young generation, on the future leaders. Our time will be up soon. So what will be the future of Rotary? As you know that Rotary's future is in the hands of Africans. In Africa, we have so much manpower, but the manpower which is not ready to take over. That's why we need to work more, and we need to be accessible to the young generation. In Africa, of the total population, 65 to 70% are unemployed. It's the labor force I'm talking about, the labor force. So that labor force need to be prepared. How do we do it? We start cultivating the young generation, the young minds in time, by providing all the basic necessities to the young generation. So for me, working on the youth and female leadership is one of the important aspects. For instance, we successfully did young entrepreneurs business forum during this DCA. In line with the DCA, we did it. So that will help to connect the young with the young in other parts of the region. And also it will give them a chance to connect and invest and initiate joint businesses, by coming together. So I'm hoping that this summit has brought some results into connecting our young generation. So we have to be open, we should not be feared. I want everyone to come and talk to me as a senior person, but I have to be accessible. So let's be accessible to the young generation. Let's build them. Let's bring them to the leadership platform. The question is, do we have a choice? We don't have a choice. So I started already bringing the Rotaractors and young Rotarians into the ExCom. You are one of them. It was nice to see you in the district ExCom team because you had the experience. You have been working with senior Rotarians. You've been working and excelling in the work that you've been doing. You were a district Rotaract representative. So what is left for you not to come and take over from where I am now? It's easy. So bringing the young to be in the district, bringing the young to be coached and to be mentored and to take over leadership positions is not a choice, but it's a must.
Thank you. Any regrets during your,
Yeah, during my year, one of the regrets that I have is, as much as I thought and I planned for, I was not successful in increasing the membership. Membership, I know, is very critical for Rotary. But in my own thinking, quality over quantity, I say. We have to choose our members very carefully. We have to bring in value into our membership. Therefore, the vetting process of getting Rotarians into Rotary, potential Rotarians into Rotary, must be an exercise that we have to take very seriously. Therefore, that is my regret, that I was not able, especially, to work more on membership in Ethiopia and South Sudan.
Is this something that you've talked with the incoming governor about?
Yes, we did. We did talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's understandable. The challenges are there, but the challenges are worldwide.
Yes.
So what happens is 10 years ago, for instance, the potential Rotarians of 1.2 million were inducted into Rotary, and 1.2 million have left. So that is not the exercise we want to have. The exercise we want to have is the right Rotarians or members to join Rotary. And as our Rotary International President highlighted, we do an entry interview, not exit interview. First of all, we have to interview them. Why they are joining Rotary? What was the purpose for them? What do they want to bring out of their membership? That must be known.
Thank you for sharing that and being honest about it. It's very appreciated. And I'm sure the incoming governor will take note of this and really work on it. And we're hopeful that this will change.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible journey for you. We've seen time and again your commitment, your strength, and the type of leadership that you've exemplified. And I think you should be very proud. We're all proud of you. Congratulations on an incredible year as governor. Let me give you a chance to thank anyone that you wish to before we close.
First of all, I start with expressing my gratitude to God, the Almighty, who has given me the chance, to share my experience, to care for others, and to be honest in the work that I have done, and accountable as well. Secondly, I would like to say thank you to my husband, Getachew, who's been a strong hand for my success, for my journey to be successful. And my children, who have been, although from afar, but we've been very, very helpful and supportive in making my journey very, very useful. I will go into the senior most Rotarians, the past district governors, who have given me openly their advice, guidance before I even embarked on my journey as a district governor. The other Rotarians that I would like to really say thank you from my heart is my ExCom chair, my ExCom chairs, all of them in different fields. You are in the PR, and I say thank you. Who have been always listening to me, who have been very productive in dealing with my with the work that I have, who shared the burden, who accepted the delegation from my leadership. So I really say thank you. The regional coordinators, the assistant governors, the club presidents, you were incredible. How many miles and miles of driving, the flights, the train, the sea, the small boat travel, which were to a certain extent very scary, but being there on the ground, connecting with each and every Rotarian, Rotractor, Interactor, was a pleasure. You are doing incredible job, and I thank you from my heart. I am always there supporting humanity, standing for humanity. Let's all be together as one. We've been marching, and as we march, we are one.
Thank you so much, Azeb.
Thank you. Okay, Abeniye, thank you so much for coming here and
just, pleasure,
sharing your experience.
Thank you so much.
Loved working with you.
Me too.
And thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much. Thank
you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too, my dear. You too. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.